It has been 5 years to the day since I lost my job. Well, I say lost my job. The company I was working for decided to close its doors. Actually, the company didn't decide. The business owner decided to basically not pay any of the staff, tell everyone to get out, and change the locks. So, yeah, anyway, it's been 5 years. I'm still here. I've not gone up in flames. I've not ceased to exist. And I've not really had a mental breakdown, so to speak. But no, in all seriousness, um, I still vaguely, or actually more than vaguely, what's the opposite of vaguely? Precisely remember the feeling or feelings that were going through my head, the thoughts that were going through in the moments following that whole debacle. Let me just prop this up a bit. Wait a second. I'm just gonna, yeah, try and make this work. Yeah. Sorry, there's going to be no cuts to this video, no edits or anything. This is straight out the horse's mouth, so to speak. What was I saying? Yeah, so it's been 5 years. And if anything, it really was the kick up the arse that I needed. Anyone who's been following my videos for a while now, by for a while I mean for the past 5 years, will know that I, in that same week or 1 week after this all happening, started a company with two friends. That company is now just me. First of the business partners, he left at the beginning of the pandemic, or sort of before the pandemic really became a thing, but it was early days. You know, there was a lot of news about a virus going around killing lots of people supposedly, etc. And then he was just like, no, I want to wash my hands of this, walk away. I want out. We said, fine, you know, no hard feelings, each to their own. And then it was good for a couple or 3 years, very good. Work was coming in regularly, work was paying a lot. Projects were available in abundance and plentiful. New customers were here, there, everywhere, which is good, or was good. And then a few things happened, namely the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Obviously, that had a negative impact on a lot of things, which has, in a roundabout way, spurred the current economic downturn, so to speak, and ignited another recession, which is bad for business, especially small businesses, because we rely on people to spend money to keep our businesses afloat, you know, especially in a business like this where it's predominantly based on the sale of luxury items, stuff that you don't really need but you really, really want. And anyone who's ever been in the position of having to make cutbacks in spending, etc., the first thing you cut back is the stuff that you want and desire, but you don't actually need to live or survive. So that made business tough. For about a year or so, actually maybe less than a year, maybe about 10 months of this whole invasion of the Russians, invasion by the Russians was building up and happening. And we sort of, you know, just chugged along. Luckily, there was a lot of retained profits in the company so that we could essentially operate on a loss. which we did for nearly a year. And then the second of the two ex-business partners decided that he was going to part ways as well. Again, each to their own, is what it is. And in all fairness, if it hadn't been for that, then there would have been a necessity for taking out some loans to cover salaries, so to speak, or at least borrowing money in one way or another, credit cards, whatever it is, stuff that we basically hadn't had arranged or even thought about up until that point. So that brings us to about a year ago now. So maybe a couple of weeks shy of a year when he left, and I had obviously the office, which was at the time an hour's drive away, not ideal. Luckily, not many overheads. The biggest overhead being my own salary, or by my own salary, I mean affording for myself to actually live and be able to eat and provide food on the table and all that jazz. But you figure things out. The first few weeks, it was everything was up in limbo, so to speak. There were definitely a few weeks or days of uncertainty where I did think I was going to have to resort to alternate actions, i.e. thinking again about taking out loans to pay for things, or maybe getting a part-time job and leaving the company on the back burner, or worst case, close the company down and just go back into full-time work. But that was the one thing that I really did not want to do, and I still don't want to do it, and I still haven't done it. Now it's another year later, and I almost want to say surprisingly, but not surprisingly, because I've been putting a bit more effort into certain aspects of the business or generating business. And I'm still here, like I said. So it's been a year since essentially going at it solo. It's been 5 years since starting the company. I've moved office, so I moved the office closer to home. So now instead of an hour's drive, it's a 5-minute drive, or if I really wanted to walk, it's a half-hour walk. And things seem to be on the up. So after nearly 10 minutes of talking shit, what it is that I'm trying to say is, when you're hit by a moment of uncertainty or any situation that causes panic, the worst thing you can do is give up. The best thing to do is keep striving, just keep trying, just take every day as it comes. Try something new if you need to. Try something different. Try something old that you tried before, especially when it comes to marketing and advertising and stuff like that. There were certain ways of marketing that I've recently tried and has worked. Things that previously didn't work that I've retried have worked, and things that should work or do work for other companies and other business models just don't work for this particular type of business. So there's a steep learning curve. But with that said, whenever there is a learning curve involved, that's a good sign, because with every event that you tackle, every situation that you overcome, if Okay, I know I said this video wasn't going to get an edit or a cut, but I got interrupted by a phone call. It was an important phone call, so I could not turn it down. But the length of editing this video is getting is amalgamating two video files together. Notifications. So, yeah, that's what those noises are. What was I saying? So for every event or situation or problem that you come up against, the most important thing to do is not give up. So the worst, like I said, the worst thing you can do is give up. The most important thing to do is persevere, strive, carry on, try something new, try something different. Keep trying. That's the key point, remark. That's the secret sauce, to making it through anything, because not everyone knows it, but the only difference between winners and losers is that a winner is a loser who didn't give up. Simple as that. I mean, look at Usain Bolt, the Olympic sprinter. Do you think he won all of his races throughout his life? Before he set the first world record, look at the 2 or 3 Olympics events and other sports events before that. He was getting like 3rd, 4th, 5th position in each of them, but he just persevered, carried on, kept trying until, well, he became the fastest man on the planet. And there are probably 20 million other examples like that. Okay, not 20 million. I can maybe think of 5 or 6 other examples like that of public figures who did not have the best starts or have had failures before they became a success, or have had losses before they became a success. Provided you learn from a loss, it's not really a loss. It's just a teaching moment. Simple as that. So I think that's why now, 5 years down the line from having lost my job, I feel better for it, because as long as every single day I feel like I've gained something new, be it financially, knowledge wise, something physical, then it's a good day. Whenever you enter something or start doing something and you feel like you are too, let's say, dumb for it to cope with it, or you feel like you're not coping, that's a good thing. It's a sign that you're being challenged. And when you're being challenged, you're basically expanding your knowledge, your capabilities, and your abilities. And it makes you a better person in many ways. So that's all I have to say today. As always, questions and comments on the postcard or down below, whatever's easiest.